अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर धाम की नवदीप धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगामयी की यमुनामयी की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की सामवेद भक्त वृंद की द मोस्ट ब्यूटिफुल लॉर्डशिप श्री श्री राधा माधव श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की परम करुण श्री श्री गौर हरि की निताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki.
Shava Narsingh Bhagwan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Can you all move forward and come and sit here? Because it looks like everybody is so spaced out looking in different directions. Please come forward. Everybody move forward. If anyone needs chairs, you can bring the chairs forward also. Please don't sit far away in the chairs. On behalf of ISKCON founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, I would like to welcome all of you to ISKCON Naperville. Today's Sunday feast class will be by His Grace, His Holiness Vedavyasa Priya Maharaj. Vedavyasa Maharaj is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He is an ISKCON sannyasi and initiating spiritual master, and he is well known for his profound wisdom and spiritual realization. He travels all around the globe, enlightening countless souls about the essence of Krishna consciousness. Please take advantage of this wonderful opportunity to hear from Maharaj. Actually, Maharaj has been giving classes for the past 3 days in the Naperville and around areas. So please give a warm welcome to His Holiness Vedavyasa Priya Das Maharaj.
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिम His Divine Grace Shri Abhay Charana Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki ISKCON Deputy Founder Acharya Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Aštottar Shata Shrimad His Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrand ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai प्रेम से कहो प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रज में वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। समावेत भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. And glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter number 2. Daksha curses Lord Shiva. It's very interesting. Daksha is one of the important Prajapatis to populate the whole world. His wife's name was Prasuti. And Prasuti means to deliver. So there is unaccountable prajas by the Daksha, and but because he is so expert as Prajapati and maintaining, he has been not practically following the purpose of creation as fully. Brahma's son, Daksha, was little a kind of unaware for the higher purposes that one should produce children. Once he produced 1,000 children, and they were growing up in his clan, and Narad Muni came and preached them so heavily that they all became sannyasi and went away. So Daksha says, wow, what is this? What is the purpose? It was actually conflicting, and the function of a Prajapati, and Narad Muni will actually take away all his children. Daksha has a very beautiful daughter, Uma, but she was an incarnation of Prakriti, and she chose Lord Shiva to be her husband because of the exalted position of Lord Shiva, that his transformation of the Vishnu Tattva, just like milk is transformed into yogurt, but he does not go back. But this is, as we know in Brahma Samhita, okay, nobody can hear. Don't put in my mouth, otherwise I won't be able to speak. Okay. So, in Brahma Samhita, that's not me, okay. Mics want to run away from me. All right. Good. So, Brahma glorifies Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva was specifically an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, where his Sankarsana aspect was there. And in Vaikuntha, he transformed himself for the function of withdrawal of the material universes. He is compared as the vikar. Vikar means transformation. So, from milk, yogurt is transformation. Lord Shiva is like that. Yogurt is the transformation from the milk. Milk is compared to Lord Vishnu, and transformation is yogurt. Yogurt is nothing but milk, but it has been transformed by acid, or acid is reacting and precipitating all the proteins, so it becomes curdled. The ingredients are the same. We may say that it is the activity of bacteria or whatever it is, but nonetheless, bacteria were there before also. Even in milk you will find bacteria. But they were not in that number, so it takes about a day or two to milk without anything curdle within 2 days. If you keep milk outside, you know, you are all experienced. You are not adding anything, but bacteria grow in it and curdle it. So, kshiram yatha dati vikara vishesha yogat. Kshir means milk. And dati means the vikar or the transformation is yogurt. But vishesha yoga, vishesh means some specific activity. That's all. Kshiram yathadati vikara vishesha yoga. For the vishesha yoga, Krishna designed so that he has transformed himself into such a personality for the withdrawal of the material universes. Withdrawal of material universes. Sanjayate nahi tata pratakasti hetu ya shambhutam api tatha samupeti karya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhaja. We worship Govinda, who is, for the purpose of withdrawal of the material universe, is transformed himself just like milk is transformed into yogurt. So, whatever milk will do, yogurt will do completely opposite. If you are sick of some, diarrhea, because you drank some milk with some contamination, the remedy is yogurt. So, when creation is there, when it's time to annihilate, Lord Shiva will do the function. So, Yasan api tatha samupeti karya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The original personality who is transforming himself from one stage of material existence into withdrawal of material existence. And Lord Shiva thus was born by Lord Brahma to become Prajapati, like Daksha. In the beginning, Brahma told him, you are my Manas Putra, you came out from my forehead. And Lord Shiva was completely puzzled. He did not want, because his position is transcendental, he did not want to come in the material world. So he came crying. So that's why it's told Rudra. Rudra means one who comes crying. So, Father, tell me what is my duty, what should I do? And Brahma told, become Prajapati. This was so much, important function to populate the world, and they needed Prajapati. So Brahma is awarded with this particular job. Then he is the original Prajapati. But Krishna says, no, I'm Prapitama. Because all the jivas are coming from Krishna. And therefore, Krishna's position is the original seed-giving father. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtayanti sambhavanti jhantasam mahadyonir aham bijam pita. In every species of life, I am the seed-giving father. And Lord Shiva understands that. Right? At the end of Brahma's day, inundation of water destroys all the living entities. All right? But when the 100 years of Brahma's life is over, then Lord Shiva does the cosmic dance, what they call Tandava Nritya. It's very popular, but there is no annihilation if somebody knows how to dance like Shodi. This dance was so much terrible that it invokes fire from the Sheshanag, that is Sankarsana, and burns up every material element. So whole cosmic world which is created will be annihilated that way. It's called wholesale annihilation. Inundation at the end of Brahma's day is different. That's water kills everything. But the fire is Samvartak fire, what we call, coming from the mouth of Sheshanag. Because of Lord Shiva is dancing. So there is a connection between the expansions of Sankarsana, the secondary quadruple. And in this way, when Lord Shiva becomes dutiful, he starts progeny. From one Rudra, he becomes 11th Rudra. Okay. And just to populate, the Rudra's progeny is called Bhairavas, and they are very, very fearful. Because Lord Shiva is in charge of mode of ignorance, and Tamogun is very volatile and it destroys. So all the ghosts, goblins, rakshasas, Lord Shiva controls. They worship Lord Shiva to get their favor. But they are all destructive in nature. All right? Even when Lord Shiva does the cosmic dance, Banasur with his 1,000 hands will play the drum and captivates Lord Shiva to serve him, because this is the nature of demoniac evil. Those who are under the mode of ignorance are captivated to worship Lord Shiva just for some petty material benefit, but it is not beneficial to themselves, neither of the whole world. Krishna says that those who are in mode of ignorance, they do not know how to act, not for them, their own benefit or others. Kshayaya jagato ahitaya. They are of destructive nature. But when something constructive nature is there, destructive nature is there. So this was the relationship between Prajapati Daksha and Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva is the transcendental personality. When Brahma saw the progeny of Rudras or Bhairavas, they are attacking the progeny of his other mode of goodness, progeny of the rishis, there is a fight, and they will be annihilated by Rudras and the Bhairavas. So Brahma said, this is not the way to populate the whole world. So he called Shiva, can you please stop being Prajapati and go in the jungle and meditate on your original form? Lord Shiva says, yes, I am also tired of this thing, let me go. So from that day onwards, you will see Lord Shiva always in a very detached person, chanting on the beads, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He is chanting Mahasankarshana mantra because that was his origin. So to keep in line, Lord Shiva becomes so exemplary and he will always stay, all right, like that. So Lord Shiva has Uma as his wife, the mother Parvati also later she became. But prior to become Parvati, she was Uma, Daksha Prajapati's daughter, right? And being Daksha was very proud that he is the topmost of the Prajapatis. He has unlimited progeny to populate the world. So he was considering himself to be the best of the sons of Brahma. And Lord Shiva was told renounce. So, but nonetheless, his Mahadev is the leader of all the demigods. In that way, even Brahma has to accept him as his superior. Of course, Brahma also was imparted with the transcendental knowledge. Ene Brahma Hridaya Dikave. So, he is the recipient of the Vedic knowledge from Lord Shri Krishna. And he also knew the conclusions, so Brahma also picks up the bead and chants. He chants Narayan's name, Mahapurusha, you know. So, both of these important demigods, they become so powerful to control, means Ishvara. There are three Ishvaras, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, but that is for one particular universe. And there are many universes, so many Brahmas and many Shivas, you know. But the function of Lord Shiva is now turned into a meditative aspect, all right? And he showed the way that even though he is the father and controller of all the jivas, you know, he is Ishvara. Brahma also is placed as one of the Ishvaras. And Vishnu is in middle in the mode of goodness, controlling the balance between the two. Is the maintainer. So this is how the Hinduistic philosophy starts from this point. It doesn't start from what happened before the creation. Before even Brahma was created. So that is the account that we have to see. But of course in this particular chapter, Daksha curses Lord Shiva. I mean, how can a father-in-law curse his damad or son-in-law? That is not good. But that's how the mode of passion, can become breath if it is not controlled. So, what transpired that when Uma chose Lord Shiva to be her husband, Shiva already retired at that time, right? And the Devi, being very ideal and chaste woman, she followed him. She never complained, I need a house. No. She never complained. Lord Shiva is in a meditative mood and they will follow Lord Shiva. It is said that during the day, when people are bothering him to get some benediction, he prefers to stay in crematorium because everybody will be afraid of death, so they will avoid him. When the evening is there, Lord Shiva retires and goes along with his spirit to sleep under a tree, rest. Okay? So this is how his daily activities were there. But nonetheless, he was counted as one of the important devas because he is the controller. To control the universal affair, he is the punishing agent in one way, but at the same time he is destructing and re-establish the order of Lord Vishnu. So at the end of the day of Brahma, he creates annihilation through inundation. So, in this case, Daksha Prajapati, who was very puffed up about his expertise in producing children, Daksha means expert, and he had so many daughters. So somehow or other, this daughter Uma chose Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva came to the marriage and deer skin and vibhuti and snakes on his body and this and that. Just to keep his prestige, he allowed Uma to get married, all right? But Daksha Prajapati was completely irritated by the status quo that he had amongst the demigods. How come in my life this kind of juggly is the husband of my daughter? It was pinpricking. So, one time it is said that when Daksha was inviting for a big sacrifice, he invited Brahma and all others. And they came before. But when Daksha entered the arena, Pranganishannam mrudam drashtva namrushya tad anadrita uvacha vamam chakshurvyam abhivikshya dahanneva. Before taking his seat, however, Daksha was very much offended to see Lord Shiva sitting and not showing him respect by getting up from his seat. At that time, Daksha became greatly angry and his eyes glowing, he began to speak very strongly against Lord Shiva. Because Daksha was anticipating that everybody should get up and offer him respect, and Lord Shiva didn't care. Well, the in-law must offer respect to the son-in-law. Daksha was opposite. But every in-law is not like Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva's exalted position, Daksha was unaware. So, Lord Shiva, being the son-in-law of Daksha, was expected to show his father-in-law respect by standing with others, but because Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are the principal demigods, their position are greater than Daksha's. Daksha, however, could not tolerate this. And he was not very much satisfied with Lord Shiva, for Lord Shiva looked very poor and was niggardly dressed. Niggardly dressed. So, how this kind of one's anticipation is something, and if it does not happen, it comes like results in war. Isn't it ego? Now understand, there are three modes of material nature: sattva gun, rajogun and tamogun. Sattva gun is handled by Lord Vishnu, rajogun is handled by Brahma, and tamogun is handled by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva can smash false ego, and the ego which is formed by the influence of mode of ignorance, they do not know, but they like to worship Lord Shiva. Why? Because Lord Shiva is very, very soft, cornered, and gives them benediction very easily. Alright? So he has a lot of fanfare in worshipping Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva knows that it is that material benedictions are becoming the stumbling blocks in development of spiritual identity. One has to smash the false ego. And they inadvertently go to Lord Shiva, but they don't anticipate that their false ego will be smashed. Except at the time of Lord doing inundation. So during the time, people come and go uselessly for the sake of material existence, and they will never progress. They don't want to follow what Lord Shiva does, to come out from the greatest entanglement that they had been given to become Prajapati, Lord Shiva gave up on the advice of his father Brahma. Right? Lord Shiva is celebrated that the last element, ego, the earth, water, fire, air, ether, then mind, intelligence and ego. So there are 8 coverings on this universal makeup. And they are there first. So when the jiva falls, it comes in the trap of these coverings and assumes the body. So Prakriti Astada, this particular body is composed of these 5 elements, gross, and 3 elements, subtle, mind, intelligence and ego. And if we go, we respect Lord Shiva because he has the duty to smash false ego. Whether this false ego is generated through mode of ignorance or passion or even mode of goodness. Because there is a state beyond the mode of goodness, it's called Parasattva. So Parasattva is where Lord Shiva is there. So even in Brihad Bhagavatamritam you will be able to understand the position of Lord Shiva is in total outskirts of material creation. And his place is called Mahakalapur. Mahakalapur. What is Mahakal? In Ujjain you know that Lord Shiva is worshipped as Mahakaleshwar. Mahakaleshwar. Because it is controlled by Krishna's time factor. Lord Shiva is the first one to understand his position. And those who think that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is formless, it means impersonalist. They come up to the level of Mahakal. Now, after the Mahakalpur is Viraja, which is separating both spiritual and material worlds. And on the other side of Viraja, Lord Shiva in Kailas is described in Brahma Samhita, that Kailas is the original residence of the transformed Lord Shiva from Sankarsha. So he is called Sadasiva. On the other side, Sadasiva is worshipped in his original form in Kailas action. And Kailas is considered to be identical within the Brahma Jyoti. Then higher and higher stage are there. So Lord Shiva becomes the husband of Devi, and the material world is called Devi Dham. Right? So Goloka Dhamna Nija Dhama Talecha Tasya Devi Mahesha Haritamashu Teshu Teshu Te Te Prabhava Panichaya Vihitaschayena Govindamadi Purushantama. We have to cross all these situations and understand the positioning of the Devatas. Brahma is within the material world. Mode of passion is there. Lord Vishnu is expanding everywhere, so he is the Paramatma. and he controls everything. So his original Ishvara Tattva is there. And it may be considered that he is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. All right? But beyond this material world is Garbhodaka ocean, because the universes are floating in the Garbhodaka ocean. Not one universe, so many. So this is the arrangement. So Mahakalpur in the material world is the last limit. And this impersonalist who think that they have reached to the higher state of Brahmajyoti, they think they are liberated. Yannera Ravindaksha Vimuktamanina Tai Astabhava Avishuddha Buddhaya Aruhya Kruchena Paramapadam Tata, that is Mahakalpur, but Patanti Adha Another Yushmadandraya. Because they have not taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. Lord Shiva has a function to smash their false ego. Because Brahmajyoti is very shiny and Lord Shiva's abode, Mahakalpur, is the last limit. So it is also very shiny. You know. And this, and Lord Shiva is the chokidar. They don't allow them. So they stay for some time in Mahakalpur and Lord Shiva conveniently sends them back. So they fall and come back to the material world again. Patanti adha. Another Yushmadangra, because they have not taken shelter of the Supreme Absolute Truth, who is Lord Vishnu. So in this way, the functions of creation, sustenance and destructions are going on. But Lord Shiva does this thankless task without deviation from his meditation on the Supreme Lords. Actually, he is the transformation. How can he forget his original root? But unfortunately, he cannot turn back into milk from yoga. So, as far as functionality is concerned, there is a job, what we call a thankless task, that Lord Shiva has to perform, that samupeti karyat, withdrawal of all. So, whoever it may be, during the annihilation, whether it is at the end of Brahma's day or Brahma's life, this inundation is really smashing the false ego. So jivas are suspended and they can't do anything. When Brahma wakes up and starts the job again, then they will be given the chance to come. Because the jiva is in a suspended form, doesn't have material body, neither it has spiritual body. Because whatever the mind has dictated, they are in that particular position. So Daksha does not understand this, about the glories of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is considered to be Mahadev. So who is Daksha in front of his position? A Prajapati and Mahadev, they are completely other way around. So, many a times, it so happens, even in life of Krishna consciousness, we become very enamored but by the family members and this and that. And when we come to a person who has been successful, and invites a sadhu. Prabhupada was invited one time in Surat, Babu Bhai Jariwala's place. Those who are familiar. Then Prabhupada was so transcendental. He accepted his invitation, came and prashadam, everything. Then, as usually, a pious person wants to give the benefit of all that, family members. He wants to bring one after another and introduce. There were 17, 18 members in that family. And he says something, and Prabhupada was very sarcastic. He told his secretary, this person is describing about his sex life. I mean, where is the sadhu's mind? But he is right on target. We think we are very proud. This praja is disturbing praja, but it's a thankless task. I will tell you after what happens in the quarrel of Lord Shiva and Daksha. So, Daksha became very enraged. And he could not forget this insult. He could not forget this insult. And Daksha cursed Lord Shiva. That I'm such a powerful person to help Brahma and Brahma's best son to become a Prajapati. There is nobody else better than me to produce so many. But that false ego is dictating. And how does Lord Shiva take it? He cursed Lord Shiva. Then, even though you are related to me, but you will be bereft of taking shares that at the end of Yajna, the demigods will be receiving. I will not kill you because you are ashamed to me and you are jungly this and that. Lord Shiva was undisturbed. And his accompaniment of the ghost goblins and everybody was very disturbed. But Lord Shiva told them to keep quiet. Let's go from here. And Lord Shiva comes back and puts himself as if nothing has happened. So, again, after some time, Daksha was doing great sacrifice. He was so proud, he wanted to do greater and greater and greater sacrifice and honoring the demigods and this and that. So, Daksha is told that everything will be done under his supervision. He didn't send any invitation to Lord Shiva to come and attend. So, the rest of the demigods and others were going. And Uma saw the wives of the demigods in beautiful clothing and ornaments and this and that to attend. And she was thinking, oh my God, Lord Shiva is not invited. That's not good. But what can I do? I have not seen my parents, my sisters, and everybody for a long time. Why don't I go? She was attractive, but this is what we call Priya Charitra. There's a big series of stories written in that. But to the devotees it is not applicable. But this is the charitra that they can be easily attractive, and they lose the composure. So Uma was thinking, oh my God, my father is angry, but my mother is not angry. My father may neglect me, but my mother and sister, they will welcome me anyway. So she was reasoning, and ultimately she asked Lord Shiva, she says, Uma, it's not good for you. You are my better half, you'll be insulted, and you won't be able to bear this insult. Don't go. So she says, okay. But then again she sees her friends are going. And no, that's not fair, that is not fair, I must go. So ultimately she leaves, and Lord Shiva says, ghost goblins, Nandi, go after her and protect her, because I am not saying auspiciousness. And then you know the story. When she reached, she was not welcomed within her own house. So sometimes it happens to the married girls, they are not welcome. It's gone, is gone. But now there are so many situations, and communication is increased, and they want to know the welfare of each other. At that time there was no internet, there was no communication, but they know better, in behavior and aspect according to their status quo in the society. The social norms were very, very strict at that time, but very beneficial. So when the husband says no, and yet it happens to Uma, she goes. So as soon as Daksha saw, he started abusing words to Lord Shiva. And because Daksha was angry by seeing Uma, even mother and sister were completely subjugated not to talk to Uma. So she was completely devastated. Now I know by experience, I did not follow my husband's, advice. Actually, I am an offender to my great husband. She realizes. And because I have received this body from my father, who is an offender of my husband, I consider my body to be an offender. So I don't want this body. What a resolve coming after, this. And that is where the bhakti begins. Aha! 5 minutes. This is where the bhakti begins. And bhakti is so powerful that she became completely, resolved what to do. She rejected her own body on the power of the fire of devotional service. And then Lord Shiva came to know. Then he devastated Daksha Yajna, beheaded his head and put a goat's head, because goats are called experts. The Muslims, they worship gods, but they eat also them. Bakra, al-Bakra. But what is this? Simply produce children, can have 5 wives, whatever it is. But this is all the example of Daksha, not of Lord Shiva. They say that the Muslims have in Kaaba the Shiva Linga, and they think that this is the God. So anyway, to understand the tenets of devotional service, when Shiva becomes the example, why not the worshipper of Shiva becomes devotees? It is completely wrong information they have that you worship. If you want a good wife, worship Lord Shiva. But good wife means what? One who has a devotee nature, one who performs devotional service. That is what it means. Not, expert like Prasuti, mother of Uma. So in any case, we see that today in this particular chapter, when Daksha curses Lord Shiva, this curse is run in about 8 to 9 verses. Such a long curse. And we should know that such example for Vaishnavas is glorified by Brahma himself in Brahma Samhita. Vaishnavanam yathashana. The best of the Vaishnavas will be Lord Shiva. He is our leader. He is one of the 12 Mahajans to follow in the footsteps, how to perform devotional service, even in adverse circumstances. And he is the best example of detachment. And we do not want to follow him. We want to get any damn thing from him. Just want. So thank you very much. We stop here, otherwise you will not be able to ask questions. 2 minutes. Yes.
Maharaj, it's true that when I first went to devotees, I was in the Vishnu temple. Chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
But Prabhupada said, if you go to Lord Shiva and chant Hare Krishna, he will dance. You know? Because the word Om denotes Lord Shri Krishna, not Lord Shiva. Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdesha Brahman. He is not Brahman. He is incarnation of the absolute truth which has already transformed for the material purposes. So he can avoid material things. But if you are a real Vaishnava, we have a lot of Shiva temples, but there are 4 important temples in Vrindavan. The Kameshwar Mahadev in Kama, then Nandeshwar Mahadev in Nandagaon, then Bhuteshwar Mahadev in Mathura, and in Vrindavan, Gopeshwar Mahadev, right? I went and chanted Hare Krishna. With respect in the correct understanding, So, that's good. Don't chant Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody chants Om Namah Shivaya. But Om is indicative of Supreme Absolute Truth, who is this transformation. Okay? Prabhupada said you can chant Hare Krishna and Shiva will not be offended. Thank you. One question was good.
Thank you, Maharaj. If anybody would like to have some question-answer discussion session with Maharaj, we can arrange it in the conference room. So please show your hands if you want to meet with Maharaj, so I can arrange that. Okay, so Shyam Prabhu, can you please come forward? Today is a very special day. Dhananjay Pandit Prabhu, can you please come forward? So, you have seen me appreciating devotees in the past, and there was a break in that. And today is our dear Dhananjay Pandit Prabhu turning 70 years. He completed 14 years of service. I'm just going to give this to Maharaj to bless you.
By tradition, you have to wear it.
Yes.
Even though it is hot.
Another one. You will definitely be hot. So, Dhananjay Pandit Prabhu, all of you know, because he's our head priest for the 14 years since we started this project, preaching project, I would say. But I have known him much before that. In his New York days, he was doing so much of prasadam distribution and assisting His Holiness Ramapada Swami Maharaj in his preaching activities. And eventually, even though it was kind of a difficult thing to get him out of New York, Maharaj clearly told me that no, you cannot take him. But he finally allowed us to have Dhananjay Pandit Prabhu, and it is not an exaggeration on my part to say that it's 14 years now, right? 14 years, and we did not have a building or anything. The project started somewhere in the western suburb in a remote place in Oswego, and we went through a lot. And then even in this old building that we have, we could not have even done the minimum deity worship if it was not for the presence of Dhananjaya Pandit Prabhu. And not only that, not only that, above and beyond the call of his duty, he has always interacted with each and every one of you. I have seen him going the extra mile to cook and serve and distribute prasadam. That is in his blood. He cannot be anything. When I restrain him, he will go again and do that, again and do that, again and do that. That is Dhananjaya Pandit Prabhu. So anyway, today some devotees are sponsoring Sunday feast also on Prabhu's, celebrating Prabhu's birthday. And he is his family, and all, just like all of you are family, he is our family. And I shouldn't overdo this. He knows how I feel about this, but at the same time, I cannot help it, because on this particular day, I'm really very happy and thankful that His Holiness Vedavyasa Swami Maharaj is here with us. Oh, you are from New York too. And not only that, what I was thinking is, as we get older, I guess the best thing I can, I'm praying and I'm wishing for, and I'm very thankful to Sri Radha Madhava, Sri Radha Shyamsundar and Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, is that they have kept His Grace Dhananjaya Pandit Prabhu in good health, and I pray that he continue to remain in good health and serve this community, and you all serve him. And thank you again a million times for all your dedicated service, and we really love you. I stopped him from cooking. Never stop. That's what it is. So today I took that extra time because there is no exaggeration in anything that I spoke. In fact, there is a lot more to say, but I should restrain myself. And so devotees are sponsoring Sunday feast, seeking Vaishnava's prayers on the occasion of Dhananjaya Pandit Prabhu's 70th birthday today. Yes, and Sunday program, which is a full day offering to the deities. It is sponsored by Mrityunjaya Kant and Rajun Chauhan. Their 14th wedding anniversary. Is Mrityunjaya Prabhu's family is here. They are not here. Okay. And Prema Kishori is seeking the blessings of devotees. That's her birthday too. Today? Okay, is she here, or Mohan Leela Prabhu is here? Okay, all right, they are not here. Children are also not here, right? Sunday class, okay. Nitin Chandra Salgar, this is the death anniversary of his father, Nitin Chandra. Can you please come forward? You can give it to Maharaj. Maharaj can give it. Nitin Prabhu, can you please come? Yes. As always, let us chant the holy names of Krishna, praying for these families' spiritual well-being. Please chant after me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And if anybody else would like to sponsor Sunday feasts in the coming week or Sunday program sponsorship, please contact Ramdas Prabhu. Shyam Prabhu is here, and where is Abhay Prabhu is over there. Prasadam is served as usual downstairs, and so we will see you all. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.